Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time, thanks for tuning in. If you watch any of my videos, you will know about 4 weeks ago I picked up this 2017 Triumph Bobber. It turned up at my house literally the day before I went away for 2 weeks. So it has sat in my garage for the last 3 weeks now. I was away on vacation for 2 weeks, got back straight into work. As soon as I got back, I've ordered up some parts for it, and there's a few things that I'm going to do to it. There's a bit of a story to my buying this, because I actually went out the week before I purchased this with $8,000 in my pocket to a Triumph dealer to pick up a Murano red bike in the dealership that they had advertised. And there's a few things that I want on my bike. I don't want it to be stock because I have a few health issues, and one of those things that I have wrong with me is I have, though I'm kneeling on the floor now, I have a knee replacement, and the straighter I can keep my legs, the better. So I really wanted Murano red, which is the colour that I was looking for, with forward controls on. And I got to the dealer, and I knew when I went to the dealer that the one that they had did not have forward controls. So I spent some time in the dealership saying, 2017 bike, can you put forward controls on it for me? Thinking that they were asking $7,900 for this bike, that I could do some sort of deal with them and get the forward controls put on at a reduced price, or take some money off the cost of the bike in the first place and do a deal. Their response to me in a Triumph dealer was that they couldn't guarantee that they could fit forward controls on a 2017 bike. They didn't know if they were fit. I had already done my research before I went to Triumph, and I knew that you could do it. So I left the dealership not buying their motorcycle. Get home, and I went onto Facebook Marketplace and started looking, and lo and behold, somebody had advertised, and it had only been advertised for 4 hours at this point, a Murano red Triumph, as you see in front of you, 2017 Bobber that had forward controls already fitted to it. So I'm thinking, oh, you know what, this is cheaper than the one that was in the dealership. It's got about 1,000 miles less than the one in the dealership, and it's got £400 worth of forward controls fitted. Yes, I'm in the UK, so yeah, £400. It's about £200 for the forward controls, and then it's about another £200 for the actual fitting kit to put it on the bike. It's about the same in dollars if you're listening in America and viewing in America. So I was pretty happy, and I did an even better deal with the guy privately, and I paid about £1,000 less for this motorcycle than the one that was in the dealership, and it's got the £400 worth of forward controls already fitted, plus it has an aftermarket seat, but you probably saw that. The reason I've got it covered up is because I've already shot a video of one of the things I'm doing, but you can probably tell what that is, but we'll go to that next. There's a couple of things that I want to do to it. Like I say, I've got some health issues, and I've always ridden Harleys up until probably a year or so ago, where my health issues mean that the bike is too heavy for me. Most Harleys are pretty heavy, even Sportsters are heavier than this bike. So I like the look of this bike, and it's a lot lighter than a Harley. So over the last year, I've bought and sold a couple of Triumphs to see if I like them, and I really like them. So I've moved from Harleys. I'm not saying I'm not going to work on any Harleys anymore, because if I see one at the right price to buy and sell, then I will do that. But this one is for me to ride. So essentially, I have forward controls to try and stretch my legs out a bit. I also suffer with arthritis in my hands, so I don't want to be leaning forward at all. So one of the things that I'm going to put on here is a high bar kit as well. So that is one of the jobs I'm going to do in video for you. So I've already videoed the rack. You can see I've put a rack on here, and you can see that now. So let's open up the box and see what we have. I always watch people do this on YouTube one-handed and say, oh, I'm never going to do that one-handed. And what am I doing? I'm doing it one-handed, holding the camera up and trying to open the box. Okay, so this is what we get in the box. Paperwork, of course, and some bubble wrap. So, here we have it. This is our rear rack. I think you won't really get an idea what this is going to look like until it's on. So here is the manufacturer. Can you see that? So I think what we do is just fit it and you can see what it looks like when it's actually on the bike. So as with, stand over here, as with all these things, third question is, do you get any instructions? And I think I do. Okay, so what we have is basically 4 bolts and the rack. This is going to fit in here somewhere, and it's going to be looking something like that, but it's looking like I have to take the seat off to do it. So the instructions are fairly straightforward. It's 2 pages giving you what you need to put it on, how to do it. So I'll just crack on and do that. I'm just going to move you upwards slightly, I think, and then I might be able to stand up over there and not lose my head, or not. Okay, let's see what it says. Always helps to start at the beginning. Fastening the rack front bolt. So yeah, I have to take the front bolt off of up here, and I'm replacing the fittings on that with the new bolts provided. So let's get on and do that. I don't know what tools we need for that. That's looking like it's a special tool, so I might be out of luck. Let's see what I have in my toolkit. Is that big enough? Might just about be okay there. Right, I am concerned about the tank, so I think I'm going to cover that. The last thing you want to do is get hold of one of these and yank it and it hits the tank. So I don't know if this is the right tool or not, or if, yeah, that does it. Going to try and do as much as I can from this side of the bike so you can see what I'm doing. Difficult. Don't need to see my bald head really, do you? There we go, cracked it loose. Now, I'm not a mechanic. This is the first Triumph bobber that I've ever owned. If you watch my channel, I have had a couple of Triumphs in the past, but predominantly I've always had Harley Davidsons. So working on Triumphs is quite new to me, and like I say, I'm not a mechanic. I would class myself as a competent amateur. You know, much more than changing clutches, oil changes, fork seals, I don't do. So I'm pretty base. Okay, that's those two bolts out. Now what's holding it on? What's next? Oh, maybe I don't have to take the seat off. I think this is supposed to. Maybe I'll crack this one. I'd like to, whilst I'm doing this, see if this seat is all the way back or not. Because of my knee, the farther back that I can have this seat, the better. But I'm thinking maybe not mess around with that today. So this, God, maybe it has to come all the way off. What do they show? Okay, so the diagram shows it with the seat staying on. But I'm not sure how to feed that through there. Let it go through. Yeah, so you don't need to take the seat off by the looks, but I'm thinking the seat is just hitting the frame, so maybe the seat is slightly too far backwards, or it needs to go inside it. I'm really concerned about catching this fender here and doing some damage, so I think the seat's going to come off. Like I say, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before, so let's be a bit careful with it. And see what's going on here with the seat. Of course, by taking the seat off, I'm sure I could have googled this and there'd be something on YouTube somewhere, but I can find out by taking the seat off what size bolts are on the bottom of the seat to adjust it. Okay, so seat coming out is not too difficult, and my seat is as far back as it can possibly go, so I'm thinking that it's going to have to go forward slightly. And that is a 17mm socket on the bottom of the seat, so I'm just going to loosen up. Actually, can I put this in place? Yeah. Okay, because I've got two bolts to fit in here that they supply you, so what I might do is I might fit this in place with the two bolts. Just check that this is the right one. There are two holes, I guess. There's one on this side with nothing in it. Don't know if that's supposed to have a bolt in there and it's gone missing. Yeah, that goes in there. And it looks like I possibly should have been a bolt in there and there's one missing. And I need to take this one out of this side, which looks like it's a 12 or a 13. Let's see what that is. That's a 12. So let's just get that out. Okay, so I am actually missing a bolt that should be in that side, and it has a special washer on it that goes into a recess that I'm going to have to get from Triumph. The replacement bolts are about 1/2 centimetre longer. Now, interestingly enough, the bolt that's come out has got a flange on it like a washer, and the bolt that they give me to replace it does not have that. So I'll be putting a washer on there. So let's just get one of these in, just to hold it in place. So just for the moment, I'm going to stick that in the top to stop it falling backwards, and I'm going to just have to find another washer. Okay, so just temporarily I'm putting an ordinary washer in here, but I will have to get onto Triumph and order up the proper washer that goes in there. Okay, right, let's get those tightened up, but not tight. And of course they're a different size to what I've taken out. So it was 12mm out, and it looks like 13mm back in. Yeah. So I'm not doing these tight until I get everything in place. I'll just do these up tight enough to stop it flipping down, so I can mess about with the seat and get the seat in the right place. Because as I said, I want the seat as far back as I can possibly have the seat, but obviously it's got to fit inside this rack now. And what I think with this rack is, I mean, I could have bought a rack that fitted to this, but with the free floating seat, I love the look of the free floating seat, and I think this particular rack kind of extends the look of the free floating seat. And I'm not going to do any touring. All I'm going to put on here is like, well, I'll show you in a minute. I have a just a small bag that I keep my waterproofs in. So if I go out and it does happen to rain, I've got my waterproofs with me. So that's the kind of thing I'm going to be putting on the back. Nothing sort of heavy and touring. The only trouble is my waterproofs say Harley Davidson on, so I'm going to have to buy some waterproofs that say Triumph. Right, so this seat, as I just said earlier, is set as far back as it can possibly go. I'm not 100% sure it's going to fit in here. Yes, it is. So I think I'm good to just put it back together with the seat right in the far back position. That's a bit annoying whilst I'm trying to do this, I'll be getting in the way. I just want to look at the new bolts that it's given me to put in from that side, which I've now of course can't find. So that's quite interesting, because that doesn't feel like it's long enough to bite onto what it's supposed to bite onto. Okay, let's get this one tightened up first. Again, as soon as I pick a tool up, I'm worried about my tank. I do drop stuff a lot. I have arthritis in my hands, so I'm constantly dropping tools. That is literally just sitting above the seat, the rack, sorry. So I'm not going to tighten that up again until I get these side ones in. Okay, that one feels like it's in the right place. And again, they're messing with my heads, because to try and fit in is with one tool, and the aftermarket is just a straight Allen key. So I need to find my Allen key wrenches now. Where are they? Okay, well, I'm just going to tighten that up off camera, and we'll take a closer look. So that's all tightened up now. Everything's back in place, and my tea hasn't even got cold whilst I was doing it. I think that if anybody wants to buy one of these, it's Hepco Becker. That's Hepco and Becker, Becker. Hepco Becker. That's the manufacturer of the rack. It's taken me probably half an hour to fit this. It's literally undo the 3 original fixings up here, and put in 2 extra. So remove two bolts down the side, and replace them, and replace 2 bolts up here. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think it keeps the nice look of the seat, extends the line of that seat. Like I say, there are several different options you could go for, but I'm pretty pleased with the way that looks for my personal taste.